Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 5 of Food FAQ. I'm Mariella, and I'm here with...
Eric.
Hey, Eric. How you doing?
I'm good, Maddie. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited about our episode because we are finally going to be talking about legit recipes that people can make that are simple and fun. But before then, what are we covering today?
All right. So today we're going to go ahead and cover perishables. So like meats, veggies, your frozen basics, what to keep in your freezer and how to just keep things fresh a little bit longer.
Yeah, the freezer can really extend the life of your groceries, which means it's going to save you money and it's also going to save you time. I don't want to harp too much on this because I think people think freezer goods, they think about proteins, and proteins are super personal. People have all kinds of dietary restrictions around eating animals or whatever it is, or organic and vegetables, and I don't care about any of that. I like to eat meat. You like to eat meat. Mazel tov to everybody else. All right, I want to get that straight out the way. What are your thoughts on this? I think I feel strongly about it, but I don't know.
Apparently you do. Like, let me set this straight.
I just no judgment here. If you don't want to eat a meat, I love you. Enjoy your life. It's fine with me.
Absolutely.
But what do you keep, Keter?
Honestly, everything. So when I buy meat in the grocery store, unless I'm going to make it that day, I freeze it immediately. So
like the whole package, or do you portion it out?
No, actually, I portion it out. So when I portion it out, it gives me the ability, one, because let's say you buy chicken breast. So a little controversial, I don't like bones in my chicken. It's just,
right.
Unless it's a chicken wing. Other than that, I don't really like bones in my chicken. So if it's chicken breast, you can season it and put it in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the freezer. So this way, when you're ready to cook, you can defrost it, open the Ziploc bag. It's completely seasoned for you. So
what do you add to it?
I mean, really anything kind of simple. You can add your seasonings, you can add your favorite herbs. But okay, so here's a little trick. If you want something, I'm sure many people know this, but if you want to season something really quick and you're going to throw it in your freezer, honestly, it sounds odd, but trust, it works. Get your favorite Italian dressing or something like that. And you can just put the chicken in there or whatever protein in there, and you can go ahead and just marinate it with that and throw it in the freezer. And the reason why I say salad dressing is because everybody has a salad dressing. Now, do not use a cream-based salad dressing. That's just going to be a little odd. But if you use if you use a vinaigrette, or if you use your favorite Italian dressing, just throw it in there and freeze it. It's done. Then it's all seasoned for you. You don't have to buy a special marinade. If you like it on your dressing, you're going to like it on your food.
This is a good idea, which I never do, and I may start because I hate portioning chicken out, and because I season it now with garlic and whatever, onion powder, simple salt. Sometimes they say sugar is good, which I have tried actually, and it kind of breaks down the fiber of the meat. So when you cook it, it's more tender. Okay, I digress. So seasoning and freezing and then defrosting is a time saver, which I love. Good idea, Keter.
Yeah.
How about pork? I know you guys like pork, right? I made you pork chops before. Who doesn't like a nice fried pork chop?
Right. Well, Ryan loves pork. So I'm not a huge pork eater. The only reason why I eat as much pork as I do is because Ryan eats it.
Yeah.
And so it's just easier to cook that way. But again, pork. So I think basically the bottom line is any protein that you have in your home, you could just treat it the same way. The only thing that's going to differ is, how to cook it and cooking temperatures and things like that. Other than that, I love portion controlling it. For me, it's only Ryan and I. There's only 2 people. So if I buy 4 big chicken breasts, if I cook all 4, it's going to go bad. I'm okay with leftovers. Ryan does not like leftovers. So I end up eating it for 3 days while he eats dino nuggets. So
because those are okay.
Those are totally fine. You can have dino nuggets all day. And he's a 31-year-old man, and he loves those dino nuggets.
God bless him.
But but portion controlling allows me to pull out, 2 or 3 pieces, whatever we're going to eat, and done. And I'm not wasting anything. That's such a big issue with me, just because I hate wasting food and I hate wasting money.
Amen. So you know what else I do? That I'm a super big snob when it comes to ground beef. I will only eat organic.
Really?
It tastes superior. And I will never not eat organic. I'd rather just not eat beef if I'm not going to buy organic ground beef. Putting it out there. And I'll buy it from Aldi, but it's still like $6 or $7. I don't know what it costs at the regular store because I've been buying it either there or Target has the best organic ground beef. Good and Gather or whatever their brand is. The best. My favorite. Okay, and I find my biggest workhorse in the kitchen when it comes to proteins that I freeze are Italian sausage links because I can open them and they become ground meat that I can add to a pasta sauce, or I can add to like vegetables or whatever, and make like a little quick saute, or they can be links. Like sometimes I'll make that instead of hot dogs for the kids because hot dogs are so like,
they're gross.
Right? I'm not anti-hot dog.
I'm not a hot dog person. I mean, so the only hot dog I'll eat if I eat a hot dog, and I don't know why, it's just I like the Hebrew National ones, just because it's just I know it's just beef in there. I know it's going to be processed properly. It's kosher, so I know it's going to be processed properly and things like that. So I feel that is a hot dog I would eat. I don't like hot dogs though. I don't like the texture really. Don't get me wrong. Like I think once in a while I might crave one, but when I mean once in a while, like every 3 years.
I'll eat a hot dog a year. There's like a housewife that says she eats a good hot dog every year. I'm like her. But I'd rather make big, juicy Italian sausage and put it in a bun and serve that with some tater tots, and the kids love it, and I feel like better about it.
Yeah.
So if you want like one thing that you can make that's versatile, it's definitely sausage links and chicken breast. You could literally turn chicken breast
and
into
sausage
anything.
Links. It's seasoned.
Yes, so true.
So it's already seasoned. So I mean, don't get me wrong. When you make a meal, you're still going to season it regardless if the meat is seasoned. But when you're making like a quick ground meat, it's seasoned. So just kind of takes a quick little step out of it.
Yes.
Do you like mild or spicy?
Oh, mild. I don't care personally, but the kids will only eat mild because everything is too spicy. I put garlic and it's like too close to being like, what's that? When garlic isn't quite cooked, it's just a little bit raw. Yeah. They're like, oh, it's spicy. I can't eat it.
Yeah.
Their palates are not...
You'll get them there.
Not sophisticated enough.
One day. It takes a little time. What else we got?
Okay. What else you got? You tell me what's next here.
All right. So frozen veggies. So some of the best veggies to keep frozen, just broccoli, corn, and peas. And broccoli just lasts a really long time. Corn and peas are really easy to keep frozen because if you're going to use it in a recipe, you don't have to put them in the microwave. You don't have to saute them. Just put them in whatever you're making because they're going to defrost really fast.
If you're not making nachos.
Unless you're not making your cold, corn nachos that you enjoy.
Which, by the way, I make. Okay, I saw a recipe on TikTok where you get corn and you add Kewpie mayo to it and Parmesan cheese and you put it on top of nachos. Oh, delicious. Just so you know, corn nachos are a thing.
Corn nachos.
Street corn nachos.
I mean, okay. I'm gonna trust you on that. You can make it for me when you're here next.
Okay, I will. Yeah, and you know what, too? Like corn and peas are fried rice friends.
So I love that you say that because I've been like really into fried rice lately, but making it at home. And I was at H Mart, and when I was there, they just had a big bag of like frozen carrots and peas, and it's awesome. I love those because you could just take like a couple scoops and just throw it in anything, especially the fried rice. But you could really just throw it in any single thing that you have. Yeah,
I love these frozen like vegetables. Like, I will buy Brussels sprouts frozen, but I don't prefer them frozen. They're always soggy. You have to like really bake the living crackers out of them to make them crispy in the oven. Personally, how do do you feel about this?
The living crackers? Bake the living crackers.
We all know what crackers is code for, right?
I'm going to take a guess, but the living crackers. So do you know that during the holiday time, this holiday, when you go to Trader Joe's, like during Thanksgiving, they were selling the Brussels sprouts on the stalk.
I saw that, but I didn't see them in person. I saw a sign.
I saw them in person.
Did you, what is it? Tell me everything.
So I love Brussels sprouts. It's controversial. I love them. I like them too. But you have to cook them properly. So Brussels sprouts I do fresh. I don't really do them frozen. I do them fresh. Here's the thing with Brussels sprouts. Not everybody likes them. So if I'm going to make them, Ryan won't touch them. I may have like a handful of friends. Even if you make them good. And let me tell you, I make them really good.
Like I never had this Brussels sprout.
So there's two ways to make them. So you got to cut them in half. And then when you cut them in
That's how I
half,
do it.
put them in a pan with some olive oil and put the flat side down. Okay, and just let it get kind of crispy. And then when it gets crispy, go ahead and roll it over to the round side. All right, and let that start getting crispy, and just hit it with
On the stove or in the oven?
on the stove, so on a saute pan.
Oh, I never done
And
that before.
just keep sauteing them a little bit. They're gonna get like nice and brown on the outside, and just hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper. And then, Mariella, what you go ahead and do is, bam, drizzle it with some honey or maple syrup
Or balsamic drizzle.
or balsamic drizzle, and then throw bacon pieces in it. Actually, nix that. If you cook the bacon first, then cook the Brussels sprouts in the bacon fat, and then go ahead and put a little bit of honey or a little bit of maple syrup, and then the bacon pieces, and that's really good. Or if you don't want something sweet, do exactly what I said. Cook the bacon, put it in the bacon fat, saute it, and then when you're done, go ahead and put the bacon in there and hit it with a little bit of lemon juice and crumbles of blue cheese.
Oh my God, marry me.
Mariella, I said no. Since 8th grade, I've been saying
so
no.
happy if we got married. Your mom would be.
My mom would be so ecstatic. We might have matching BMWs. Okay,
Listen, we could just do it and
she'd be so ecstatic. She'd be like, "I finally got you into my family."
Oh, talking about bacon. You know what I started doing with bacon? Is that I freeze it. I've always frozen it when I have leftovers.
Right.
But it would be super hard for me to cut it because, it's bacon and it gets hard. But then I saw on TikTok that you put it in parchment paper and you roll it up like a fruit roll-up.
Oh, okay.
A revelation. And now I keep them in little rolls inside my little plastic baggies in the freezer. And when I just need an errand slice of bacon, like I did today, I made like tortellini and I made a simple sauce. And I fried up one slice of bacon in olive oil before.
Right.
And freezer trick of the gods, honey. Bacon.
That's really
Bacon
good.
is everything.
I like that. I like
Super
that.
useful.
All right, so Brussels sprouts are fresh.
Yeah, sorry guys, we got off on a Brussels sprouts tangent, but if you heard what I heard, you are very excited too.
Right, you got two Brussels sprouts recipes that was not planned.
Oh, so good.
And you got they're really, really good. And again, not everybody likes them, but those flavors are really good when you make it that way.
All right, so to keep us on track, frozen fruit, super useful.
Yeah, frozen fruit is great. So frozen fruit, I don't eat frozen fruit. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
I do like taking fresh grapes and like par freezing them in the freezer so they're kind of like slushy on the inside. There's like a really good snack, especially when it's hot. And the frozen fruits can be a good snack. I actually do like taking frozen blueberries and putting them in my yogurt. Just because it's a nice cold crunch. But
Doesn't that hurt your teeth?
no, they're little.
It's not the size, it's the frozenness. I disapprove of this today.
It's not like you're chomping into like a massive strawberry, but
Okay, listen, I'll let you have it, but I don't enjoy it. Go on.
well, what's your loss? All the frozen blueberries for me. And so frozen fruit, I of course use for smoothies and things like that, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't make smoothies. I don't make them.
Not bad.
I don't want to.
You're like, listen, it's bullshit. I don't want to do it.
I don't want to pretend like, I'm some health guru here saying drink your smoothie in the morning. It doesn't happen. So,
I'll do it for the kids sometimes and my husband because he likes to go to like the Smoothie King place and those smoothies are like $117.
no,
And I'm
okay,
ready.
listen. Some of those smoothies, depending where you get them from, they're also really, really high caloric.
They're bad for you
Yeah.
and they're so expensive. I'm like,
Yeah.
I will make it for you. I'll keep strawberries just until he says to me like, oh, I want a smoothie from the $1,700 place. Oh, no, I got you.
Yeah.
I'll make you a shitty smoothie here at home.
Right, like you take that smoothie to work, okay? We'll save that Jamba Juice cup, and you're going to take that smoothie to work with you.
We'll pretend.
You're going to pretend you stopped off in the morning. So frozen fruits, Mariella. I have made the best daiquiris with frozen fruits.
Aww.
And
How many daiquiri parties do you have a year, you say?
there's quite a bit of daiquiri parties, like in the summertime.
I can't imagine why that is.
I know you want to say it. Just say it, Mariella.
No, I'm not going to say it. You're good.
Go ahead. Just go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
I say this with all the love for the community, but that is the gayest thing I've ever heard you say in my life. Your daiquiri experience is vast.
It's vast and plentiful.
have a show about this. So I'm going to stick a pin in that. And I want all your daiquiri recipes. And we should do that this summer. We'll meet up in the summer and we will do daiquiris. Are you excited?
No, I'm excited. We could do daiquiris and margaritas.
I love it. Maybe a virgin daiquiri for me because I don't know. Alcohol does not agree with me in my old age.
You know what,
Mariela? I'll do a margarita.
Let me tell you something. That is the oldest thing you have ever said to me. Because if I could tell stories
I
of Mariela from like 1998 to like 2007.
I know. It's true, but I don't know lately. It's just, I don't know. I can't keep up with the kids, man. Okay.
All right.
Things that are good to keep.
Okay.
That are good to keep in your freezer if you really want to be prepared for life. And if you have kids or a boyfriend or a husband or anybody you need to feed. My number one thing to keep in the freezer is frozen cookie dough. I'll make a big batch and then I'll portion it out with a cookie scoop. I'll lay it flat on a cookie sheet on parchment paper and I'll freeze it. And then I'll put all those little delicious mounds of cookie dough in one big plastic bag. And I will never want for a freshly baked cookie ever in my life.
I like that.
It is there.
I like that.
It is so good. I even have my friends, not my friends, my daughter's teachers hooked on cookies since like the beginning. I send them cookies because I think, who doesn't love a cookie?
I would love if someone brought me a cookie to work.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to get in good with cookies. What else do you think is good to keep?
Puff pastry. Puff pastry. People are scared to use puff pastry because it breaks. It you got to work with it pretty quick before it gets brittle. But I think puff pastry is like something really simple. You can make just
2 fast things you can do with puff pastry.
All right. So one fast thing to do with puff pastry, you can lay out the puff pastry. Just go ahead and just, brush it with some melted butter, sprinkle cinnamon sugar on it, twist it up, throw it in your oven like at 350 for just a couple minutes. It's like it's a little golden brown and delicious. And we could get into a whole thing like, you and I growing up on like, especially Cuban pastries and stuff like that, the pastelito con guayaba, the things like that. Really easy to make. That's what it's made out of, is puff pastry. So that's one. And then I know you were telling me about one earlier today that you liked.
I like to cut them into little like strips. And then I don't know if I put oil. I think I just do straight up Parmesan cheese and I twist it. And then I lay it flat on a cookie sheet. I think it's 400 for like 12 minutes. Then you have an appetizer, like cheese straws. Who doesn't like a cheese straw?
I love a cheese straw.
Puff pastry is a godsend, honestly. It is so delicious. And you could just maybe even if you make what are those? Like I love chicken pot pie. And it's like because of the pastry.
I don't get chicken pot pie.
Oh my God. What?
It's like
How
eating
could you not like it?
Well, I don't know.
It's like soup in a pie shell.
That's what I was going to say. It's like a thick soup in a pie shell. But it's like, I'll eat it. But it's like, I've never been someone to look at a menu and be like, oh man, I'm craving a chicken pot pie today.
Yeah, I guess I make it at home more than I would ever buy it outside. But nobody likes it in my house, so I never make it. But when I do, it's for me. I make it for moi.
Listen, if that's your thing, go with it, Maddie.
What else? Oh, you know what I like to do? Like I buy bananas in bulk, and some weeks the kids can't get enough, and some other weeks they don't touch them. So I will slice them, and same idea as with the cookie dough, and I will freeze them, and then put them in a baggie. You can make it into ice cream if you just put it into a blender. You could eat them like that, or you can dip them in chocolate.
I love chocolate dip bananas.
Right?
I love chocolate dip bananas. My mom used to make them for us as a kid. She does not bake. You know her. She's not a baker. She's
so cute.
But she used to make chocolate dip bananas for us as kids, and like the chocolate kind of hardened on it, and it was just really nice. Yeah, that's what she did. So I do have really good banana recipes, but we're going to save that for baking. But I do have really, really good things to do if you have not frozen your bananas in time and they're already turning brown. That's the best one to bake with the bananas anyways. So that you have to hold.
I make a mean banana pudding. Do you make banana pudding?
I love banana. Okay, so banana pudding, when I was living in Manhattan, when I was living there for 2 years, and I loved, I worked right down the street from Magnolia Bakery.
Oh, yeah.
In New York. And that's where like I fell back in love with banana pudding. It was really good. So I do not make it. I don't make it, but I do have good baking things with bananas.
We're going to do Banana Palooza, and it's going to be whatever you make, which you're not telling me about because it's a big secret.
I bought red bananas the other day, too.
Oh, I love red bananas.
Yeah, they're great.
They're just like regular bananas, except they're red, but it's amazing.
They're supposed to be sweeter, but I, honest to God, did not know.
It's bullshit. If you had a blind taste test, you would eat the banana and you wouldn't know. It's just a different outfit.
Did you know that the reason why banana candy tastes different, like so artificial banana tastes different than the banana we currently eat nowadays is because banana candy is based off of a banana that no longer exists.
Shut up. It's like, banana.
I'm going to be honest. I saw that on YouTube, so it could be a total lie.
It could not be true.
But, so if anybody wants to research that, because I don't really have the care to research it, but I did see that on YouTube several times, so something has to be correct there, is from
extinct banana.
The flavor is from an extinct banana. That's why it tastes different than banana we eat.
Interesting. My daughter will come to me, sidebar, with like all these interesting facts, and I ask her where she learned them from, just because I need to filter, right, what I learned from my daughter. And when she says it's YouTube, I'm like, it's likely not true.
Listen, I'm on board with her. I see something on YouTube, I'm telling everybody what I learned.
All right. So if you want to, say you buy a bunch of rosemary and you only needed 5 sprigs and you still have 6 sprigs left, what do you do with it?
All right. So what I do with herbs, so it depends. Are we using the herb within that week or so, or are we using the herb within that month?
Yeah. I'd say I bought it for one recipe and I don't know what else to do with it. How do I save this $5 investment I just made in rosemary?
I do something simple. What I do is I just wet a paper towel and I just roll the herbs in the damp. So you wet paper towel and you string it out so it's damp, right? Mm-hmm. Roll your herbs in it and throw it in your crisper. And that's what I do with herbs. The only thing is that will go bad eventually. Right. And fresh herbs are not cheap. So they're not cheap. But, of course you can freeze them. You can freeze your herbs. But I like what you said, too, is you can make like a sofrito out of your herbs. Mm-hmm. And you make a sofrito out of your herbs, and that's going to freeze.
Yeah, and you could make it, even if, let's say, you're not trying to get rid of things, right? Like, let's say you want to just make cooking easier. You can make sofrito out of onions, garlic, bell peppers, olive oil, simple, parsley, cilantro. I know you're one of those soap people, or so you say.
Cilantro's gross, yeah. I'm on board.
It's delicious. But let's say you put all these things in a blender and then you portion it out in an ice cube tray with a little bit of olive oil and you just have it in your freezer. And anytime you cook, you can just pop one of those in there and make your life easier. And this is another way that your freezer can help you save time.
Put a cube into it in your black beans. What? Put a cube into it in your black beans when you're making your black beans.
The black beans. Yep. That's right. You know what? I'm going to do that. I haven't done it yet, and I can't wait to season my beans after. It's going to be a very exciting
Season it after. It's going to be better.
Here's a fun fact. I made Marcella Hazan bolognese that took me 6 hours, and I made a giant pot of it. I saved half and I froze it, and I served the first half to my family. My husband took a big bite, big forkful, and smiled and said, "It tastes like a really good beefaroni." He said that to me, and we're still married, so I'm a forgiving woman.
You don't, Mariella. I made a delicious sauce recipe from my 2 favorite TikTokers, Mama Jill and Doll. Look them up. They're amazing. I have their cookbook. Yeah. And I made this delicious sauce. And it has tomatoes, cream, stuff like that. And, I made it and I served it. And Ryan looked at me and said, "Oh my God, it tastes like, Chef Boyardee."
That's what it is. Chef Boyardee. That's what my husband said.
Yeah, Chef Boyardee. You're right, Chef Boyardee. What am I? Mine said a good beefaroni. Ryan said a good beefaroni. It tastes like a good beefaroni.
We're married to the same.
And I spent
lost it
3 hours letting this sauce simmer. 4 hours letting the sauce simmer. I did a Sunday sauce. Let it simmer. I've made it before. It's an amazing sauce. You should check out their cookbook. But
no insults to Chef Boyardee, but fuck you. It took me a long time to do that.
Like a labor of fucking love, people. Okay? And he's gladly eating it, by the way. So the thing is, he's gladly eating it. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Yeah. And so Incredible sauce. But then again, this is a man that, like I said, eats, dino nuggets. So
God bless them. Yeah, my husband too. Like, I don't know. I fed it to them again and they were still underwhelmed. So just so you know. But you can freeze sauces when you spend 5 hours making them and nobody wants to eat them. You can feed it to them again as revenge. Also, one thing I've been doing is if I have any leftover rice, I'll just put it inside a plastic bag and I'll put it in the freezer. And when I'm starving in the middle of the day and I want to eat something, I always have some kind of rice where I can just pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes and it's fresh and delicious. Rice is really amazing when you microwave it from frozen, which I love.
Do you put a little water on it just to kind of reconstitute it?
No, because it's frozen and the water that is in it is already, it's enough.
Got you.
And it's perfect. Highly recommend this.
Got you. I like that. I've not done that before.
Okay, so it's recipe time.
Ooh.
I am very excited about this. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. All right, so I had to think of a recipe that was kind of quick. It was kind of easy. You can just do on a weeknight. So I got my inspiration from Ina Garten, the Barefoot Contessa, which I love you, Barefoot Contessa.
Warm, fuzzy love.
I just love her. My goal is to be her one day. Okay, that's my goal. But
can I be Jeffrey? I want you to cook for me when I come home.
You could be Jeffrey. I will cook for you when you get home. So, but our relationship is best if it is like Jeffrey and Ina's, where I only see on the weekends. So
right, and we don't have any sex.
Right, exactly. So, okay. All right. So anyways, I love my Barefoot Contessa. So this is a little bit of a tweak to it. And it's really, really simple. So it's going to be like a lemony butter sauce. It's going to go on your pasta. All right. So what you want to first do is get the water boiling, because the pasta is going to take longer than the actual sauce is going to be. So get the water boiling and salt it. Like they always say, salt it like the ocean. This is the only time you're going to be able to salt your pasta or season your pasta. So go ahead and salt it.
What does that mean? Like, do you do like 2 pinches? That's what I do, like 2 fat pinches.
I just open up the salt thing and just start shaking it in there. And that's it.
Okay, go.
So, all right. So while the water is getting ready to boil, go ahead and take a saucepan. It's going to sound like a lot of butter, but it is. Use a half a pound of butter. That's about 2 sticks of butter. Again, you do not have to use your Kerrygold butter. Go ahead and just use your store-bought butter. It can be salted, unsalted, does not matter. If it is salted, because the butter is the main component, maybe taste it before you add some salt into this. So go ahead, 32 sticks of butter into the pan. Let that start melting. Don't let it turn brown. And then maybe if it does turn brown, it'd be good. I don't know. Don't let it turn brown. So go ahead and Marila's face is saying, don't let it turn brown. And as it's melting, go ahead and chop up your garlic. Just to let you know, I actually love minced garlic in a jar, but go ahead and chop up your garlic. And as it's melting, you put your garlic in there. Grab 2 lemons. And you got to like roll those lemons so you can get that juice flowing. Roll the lemons.
Yes.
And take those 2 lemons, zest the 2 lemons, throw it in that saucepan also. And then cut those lemons up, juice those 2 lemons, throw that lemon juice in there too. Let that simmer a little bit. By this time, your water should be boiling. Throw your pasta in there. Use any pasta you want, any pasta you have in your home.
But what's the best?
I mean, the best is probably like a spaghetti. She uses capellini. I don't really buy capellini. She's fabulous. So that's why she's a capellini. So use spaghetti. I would not suggest something. I mean, I guess you could use like an angel hair, but you probably want something a little bit heartier. So use a spaghetti. You can use like a linguine, just something like kind of like a thick spaghetti. You just kind of want to use. And just go ahead and throw it in there. Huh?
Angel hair is like a throwaway. What the hell is angel hair good for? Soup?
I'm not a big... Ryan loves angel hair. I'm not a big angel hair person. So,
right, shut up, go.
Yeah. So use like a thicker spaghetti and throw it in there. Let it boil. Okay, here's the trick. Boil it to what the box says. Maybe like a minute less, but just boil it to what this box says. When it's done boiling, you're going to take the spaghetti out, just with tongs, whatever, and put it in the sauce. You don't have to drain the spaghetti. Okay, because you want a little bit of that starchy water on the noodles to let that sauce adhere. So don't drain it, but just take it out of the hot water and put the spaghetti in the saucepan. Mix it around. This is a really good time at this point. I like to use red pepper flakes on it. If you don't have red pepper flakes, you have black pepper, white pepper, whatever pepper you have. Season it up. If you want to add a protein to this, my favorite proteins to add, you would do this before you put the pasta in there. Throw some shrimp in there. The shrimp can cook right in the sauce because it'll only take like a couple moments to put the shrimp in there. Be careful if the shrimp are frozen because that is going to add extra liquid. So if the shrimp are fresh, throw it in there. If it is frozen and it's going to add some more water, then you're just going to have a little bit of waterier sauce. Okay.
So defrost it first.
Absolutely. Defrost it, throw it in there, put it all together. And then when you're done, put some grated Parmesan cheese on it. And I'm not lying.
Mamma mia!
Okay. So you have this incredible dinner. It's really light. It's a great summertime dinner. You have a really good dinner. I'm serious. Within like 10, 15 minutes. And it's stuff you have in your home. And that's it. If you don't want to use a protein, throw those frozen peas in there. Throw those frozen carrots in there. Blanch some broccoli. Throw that in there if you want to make it vegetarian. And it's just a really, really good, refreshing, and a good weekend meal.
I'm going to tell you what I love about this, right? First of all, butter, which is a love language. And also, who doesn't have, you should have butter and garlic in your house. At all times, even if it's a little past its prime, that garlic, and it's starting to have little friends inside. I don't care. I'll use you. I'll cut them off. Yeah. And I will use it. So, and pasta. These are things that they don't go bad fast, and you can always make this. Right. And the only thing that's like a little special is the lemon. Yeah. But it's a lemon, right? It's not like you're buying something Maldives salt. Right. Right. So I love it. And
Maddie, if you don't have lemon, this is just something that you can do melted butter, you can do garlic, you can do spices, you could throw basil in there and a little bit of olive oil, and you can mix that with the pasta too. So if you don't have a lemon, you can just make a quick butter sauce, just like that. Throw your protein in there and make just a really fast sauce. So if you don't have the lemon, leave it out and just make it your own. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a simple sauce too, and this one is also the same idea. You make it while the pasta boils. I have made, like I said earlier, the Marcella Hazan bolognese sauce, which is underappreciated in my household. But this recipe is simple. You take about a big can of crushed tomatoes, right? Well, live. So you're gonna use that. You're gonna use butter, and you're gonna use an onion, and you're gonna use salt. You're gonna start by melting the butter. I'd say like half a stick of butter, melt it in there, which is kind of something I think people don't think about. When you think about Italian food, you think about olive oil. Right. But butter in a tomato sauce adds a richness to it.
Yeah, it does.
Olive oil just can't duplicate. So you melt your butter, you put in your garlic, you saute it for a quick second, don't burn it. Burnt garlic tastes like trash. And then put in your can of tomatoes and simmer it while you're waiting for your water to boil and your spaghetti to cook. All good tips. You have to definitely keep that pasta water nearby because it is a helpful tool in making your pasta delicious. I think it's the one thing that people miss when they're like, how do you make your pasta so good? It's the water. The salted water makes a world of difference. Yeah. So, the Marcella Hazan recipe it's supposed to simmer for 45 minutes. I don't have 45 minutes. 25 minutes will do. Simple sauce. You can just go ahead and cook it while the pasta's cooking. And then same idea, you just grab it with some tongs, you pop it in the pan, done. And let's say you don't have a can of tomatoes, but you have a little pot of cherry tomatoes that you ignored in the back of the fridge. Put that in some olive oil and butter, let them blister, add some garlic, put in the pasta, throw in a lemon from the last night's pasta that you didn't use. You can do that too. It would be delicious as well, like a pasta primavera almost, and you can add vegetables to it, whatever you have in the freezer. That's another meal you can make super, super quickly. And using up what you have in the fridge.
But I think the point of these recipes is that you can get a whole meal on your table for your family or yourself within 20 minutes. And I know for me, I leave my home at 9:00 in the morning, and most nights I don't get home till after 8:00 at night. It's just really good to have these fast things. And these are things that should all be, like we talked about, in your pantry, in your cabinets, in your refrigerator, just stuff you can grab.
We're building your kitchen together, and these things will definitely be in your kitchen once you follow up on all the things we've recommended in our past episodes. And we're so grateful that you're listening. Aren't we, Keeter?
We are, especially the people of Botswana.
oh my God. So I looked at it and we're charting in Botswana and I cannot be more thrilled. I told Eric, like, my God, I'm going to learn about Botswana and anybody please reach out and learn me some. I want to learn everything about Botswana food.
Yeah. Number one food podcast in Botswana.
I mean,
we're making it.
Moves.
One country at a time.
So join us for our next episode. We hope you enjoyed this one. Please leave us a 5-star review. You can leave us a message on Pod Inbox. You'll find the link in the show notes. And next time, what are we going to talk about next time?
Next time, it's kitchen basics. So equipments, pans. Like, do you need an electronic mixer? What do we need to do? And of course, you're going to get another recipe that's in there as well. Using one of these things. We'll decide on this later. But absolutely, it's going to be a good one. And we're going to have a good time while we're doing it. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Bye, guys. Take care.